Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.
It's the After the Show podcast, precious.
We don't care, we're about to swear on the air. It's the After the Show, so tune in if you dare. KVJ, get your skate every single day. It's uncensored. We can say what we want to say.
Okay, here we go. Welcome to the ATS. Got just one more day to that weekend.
Whoop, whoop, weekend.
Everybody getting all crazy for the 4th of July. Yeah.
We like it.
There's an energy, or I should say lack of energy, in the building this week.
Yeah, I think that's probably what it is. Lack of energy. You can just kind of like feel everybody's just like, okay, man. Yeah, everybody's kind of like in Denny's mode.
You go back to see the sales department and you trip on a tumbleweed.
Yeah. It's all right, man. It's all cool. Don't worry about it. We're just chilling out. It's an easy week. Boss is out of town. Oh, yeah. Got Ellie send this email, said, hey, I was just listening to the After the Show podcast, listen to how Jay Bird and Virginia say they always seem to make up or wipe the slate clean before July 4th. And I stumbled upon this. I don't know if it's true, but I thought it might be worth sharing either way. This solar eclipse on July 2nd is going to reset the scale. Don't be surprised if you're going through an intense shredding process, losing friendships, relationships, old jobs, old thought processes that keep you dormant. It's going to remove and reset.
Today is supposed to be an eclipse, but we can't see it. You can only see it in South America. So if it doesn't happen here, it kind of didn't happen, right?
How do we know that this is real?
Apparently, the South American people can see it, but we can't.
Only Colombians?
Yeah.
They can be like,
Eclipse all.
eclipse all.
Interesting about the whole shedding and all that stuff. Do you believe any of that stuff? The moon?
I could be, but, for me, with a lot of things, whether it be aliens and Bigfoots and, the moon and all that stuff, I mean, I don't know if there's how much documented proof there is. You're like, oh, it's suspect, and is it coincidental or is it more?
But do you think our behavior and our moods could possibly be controlled by where the moon's at, what type of moon we're having, what it's doing,
Could be.
I think some people are more affected by the moon than others, because I have girlfriends in my life, and they swear up and down that they get super freaking squirrely when it's a full moon. And we've had, doctors and nurses confirm the emergency rooms are packed when it's a full moon. People are freaking and tweaking.
But what I'd like to talk to your friends about when they talk about the full moon thing, is this something that they are anticipating, it's giving them anxiety, and they know the full moon's coming up, so it's automatically making their mood altered? Or do they have a fucking terrible mood, shit goes down, and they go, let me look up at the sky, shit, full moon? How are they doing that?
I think that it's a little psychosomatic, too.
I do, too.
I think you can convince yourself that you go more crazy with the moon, but I have seen these bitches go a little crazy, too, and then they'll be fine afterwards. It's weird.
Yeah.
And I think it just depends maybe what your sign is, if you're more controlled by the moon.
Sure.
They say a water sign.
Could be.
Some people really, really follow this stuff.
I know.
They make decisions based on stuff like this.
Completely.
Yeah, I guess if you've noticed a direct correlation for you between signs and all that, some of it, you never know. Is it psychosomatic? Is it coincidental? Is it legit? Who knows? But
if a bunch of bad stuff, damn it, moon, then you're like, okay, maybe if this keeps happening every month, there is a correlation here.
I was talking to somebody who honestly believes that they are completely controlled by the water and the tides. They were living on the western part of California, and they would act one way, but they'd have to leave California and go in the middle of the country a lot of times. And they said everything changed. Their thought process changed. Their energy changed. They couldn't exercise like they could exercise, and they really believe that being closer to the water made them a different kind of person.
I'd be curious to find out what their astrological sign is. Was it a water sign, like a Pisces or something? because I think those people are more controlled by it.
Well, and then there's other factors you can't tell, too. I've lived both in California and in the middle of the country, and the middle of the country is fucking depressing. So,
And that could be why you're not moving.
Right.
And 20 years behind everybody on the East and the West Coast.
That's just kind of what it is. Everybody might have their own, reasons for what it might be. So I don't think we know for sure. But yeah, it's interesting. I'll look at it. Who knows? It could.
Why is it so crazy to think that stuff could be? I'm not saying it is, but why is it so crazy to think it could be real?
I don't think it's crazy. I think different people are set different ways.
Agreed.
And I'm not going to sit over here and judge my girlfriend who thinks the moon makes her a crazy bitch, because maybe the moon does make her a crazy bitch.
For some people,
I think it does.
Belinda said, I can attest. I used to be a bartender, and I would only know it's a full moon by the people. They became nuts. So,
we have heard this before.
Yeah.
It's a fascinating case study.
It is.
Yeah. I know a lot of people believe in it. So who knows? I mean, there's, I imagine hopefully one day we got all the answers to the secrets of the universe, and we're just like, whoa, that's crazy. All the stuff that we just don't know or think or whatever.
I mean, if we don't get the answers, then what the shit?
You're a Cancer, right, Kevin?
Some people call me that.
No, your astrological sign.
Oh, yes. I am June 21st, so I am on the middle. I can be Gemini or Cancer, depending upon which chart you check.
Interesting.
Yes.
Magnolia is a Gemini. Rocco is a Cancer. I'm a Leo. So it's back to back to back.
Okay.
I'm a Taurus. I'm bullheaded, and I don't agree. I forget. I've had girls tell me, "Oh, you're a Taurus." Oh no,
you kind of are a Taurus.
You're a Taurus. Oh my gosh, this means you're A, B, and C, and holy shit.
Yes. So anyway, I'm looking for an answer. It says it depends upon what chart. So sometimes I'm a Cancer, sometimes I'm a Gemini.
I felt like Virginia was about to go into some self-analysis about myself. I'm glad that you interrupted her, Kevin.
I'll refrain from telling you more about what you need in your life.
Yeah, about my flaws. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Well, is this the planets? Is there a powerful pull to the rigs? Tom from Coral Springs says, my wife and I were in Marco, Naples over the weekend. I saw this road sign. I had to turn around and get a picture of it. Summer of Riggs is everywhere. We can't escape it. He was on Riggs Road.
And there's no outlet.
Yeah, there's no outlet.
Yeah.
There's no escaping Riggs Road.
You're not getting off of it for a while.
No.
Until Riggs is ready to release you.
We don't know if the moon has any play on our bodies, but we know the Summer of Riggs is real.
No outlet, a.k.a. no hope.
That's right.
Riggs Road.
Riggs Road. Ashley said last night on To Tell the Truth, there was an authentic voodoo priest from New Orleans. Since Virginia grew up in Louisiana, I was wondering if she ever had an experience with voodoo or knew somebody that did.
So I don't mess with the black magic. And I know there's white voodoo and there's black voodoo and there's I don't mess with it, although I do know a lot about it because I used to, every year, from 4th grade to 10th grade, you'd have to write term papers and stuff. And I would always write term papers on Marie Laveau, which she's supposedly the high priestess of voodoo from New Orleans. There's voodoo museums. There's all kinds of voodoo stuff you can go and see and learn about. But I think as soon as you start messing with it, it's kind of like a Ouija board thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if I like the idea of opening up to dark spirits.
Right.
Because life is tricky and dark enough at times. I don't need now some spirit on my ass who wants to hurt me.
Yeah.
But it is fascinating. And
Yep.
Look up Marie Laveau, look up voodoo in New Orleans. There's all kinds of voodoo that still happens.
Curses. There are real life witch curses out there as well there are people who practice as being a witch. They'll put a curse on somebody, and sometimes shit falls apart on that person.
Mm-hmm. You're still living it.
Oh, I fell victim to one. Mm-hmm. Not you. I've had a few witches in my life.
Can't get away from them. Yeah. Brendan sent an email. Kev, you were talking about some hippie chick that was fasting and eating the air for nutrients. First issue is if you're drinking smoothies and juice, that isn't fasting or, not saying you're having solid food. And I think that's kind of what her thing was. She was just basically juicing. She said she really didn't eat solid food anymore. That's all she would have is juices. And then she would go out and breathe deeply for like 40 minutes, and that's how she's getting all of her nutrients.
But
If I could do that, if I had that bitch's willpower, I would be so skinny.
But they're right there. That's not fasting.
No, it's not.
No. But I think what it is just kind of talking about the concept where people are trying to really cut back on the calories they have and say, how much food do we really need? Because I think that it's kind of gone wacko, through the 80s and 90s and, even the 2000s, the portions that we had as Americans. And we just had this standard of how much food we think we need when in actuality, our stomachs are about the size of our fist. And so
And you don't need to keep eating till you're like, I feel full.
Yes.
I don't know,
Because
man.
that's way past the point that you should have stopped.
Sometimes things are good. You want to power through that pain.
I know. I feel you, but it's not how your body was designed. It's fun, sure.
Brennan said this one dude started it as a blog and just wanted to see if he could survive without eating solid foods. He figured out exactly how much carbs, protein, fats, minerals, vitamins he needed. And he created a complete micronutrient diet, breaking everything down into micronutrients the body did not need to digest as much and therefore would be absorbed much more readily. He intended to try it for a month, though he took it much longer because he felt better. He wasn't hungry or craved food. His skin condition actually cleared up, and he got leaner and lost weight. He provided all the ingredients he used with Amazon links and started a trend. Others joined in. And the blog exploded with additions or ideas of what to add or increase and decrease. He started a Kickstarter, too. It's now commercially available. If you're interested, look at Soylent, Soylent. It's a product they have. I did it for a short period, and I do admit I wasn't hungry and I didn't crave any food while I was doing it. I just been too lazy to get back into it.
Yeah, they have testing now, too, because I looked into it. They have it at my place, my Nouveau place. It's a little bit expensive, but they will do your complete markup with your blood work, and they will tell you exactly, specifically for you, what you should be doing for exercise, what you should be doing for food, and what you should be doing for vitamins and nutrients. And it's all very specific to you. Like, I would go, and they would tell me one thing, and Jaybird would go, and it would tell him something completely different. And they really have, like, a way to zone in on you specifically.
Oh, I love that. I mean, if somebody was just like saying, hey, look, this is what you need and to eat and when or consume, I'd be like, great. And this is going to get my body running at maximum efficiency.
Just like an engine.
That's it.
A top performing engine.
That's what I'd love to do. Hopefully, as we continue to study this kind of stuff, we'll get there and then it'll rewire some things and be like, okay, this is what you need to eat. Imagine how easy it'd be if you just pull a bottle out, be like, I drink this now and I drink that later and I'm good.
Oh, I'd fucking hate that. It sounds terrible. It's my personal hell.
Oh my gosh, that's my personal heaven.
Oh my god, I want to taste the lasagna. I can't even
The
talk.
lasagna.
The lasagna.
You
You're just like-
you enjoy the journey. You enjoy the adventure of eating.
You're like my pop. You guys don't love food. You like the fact that it's giving you some nutrients and gets you through your day, but you don't love it. I'm thinking about not only what am I going to eat when I leave here, I'm thinking about tonight for dinner and maybe even a little fucking midnight snack.
It's your joys in life.
It
Depends
is.
on what you like. Yeah, just food is just something that for me now these days it doesn't rank high and I get excited about it.
It is a joy in life. Speaking of joy, I'm really on an Almond Joy kick right now. A very underrated candy bar.
Okay.
Such a good candy bar.
Not good for the diet.
It's not, but I gotta go up and down. I'm like Oprah. 1 week I'm healthy, the next month I'm not.
Okay.
Yeah.
There we go. Here's Engineer Keith talking about your security deposit. He had a similar problem. He paid his $1,300, moved into a condo, got a deposit check for $400 to paint and fill holes 60 days after moving out. I couldn't believe they wanted to charge that much for some paint, so I looked it up in Florida in the statutes, figure out if there are any laws protecting renters, and it turns out there are. They have to send you notice by registered mail within 30 days of moving out and what they're charging you and why. Knowing this, I sent a demand letter to the landlord citing the new law and threatened to take her to small claims court if she didn't send the remainder of my deposit, and she sent my $900 a few days later.
Engineer Keith, I love it, and I'm going to try to get my deposit back because I put way too much time and money into making that place look nice when I left. That should be rewarded, not punished.
I agree.
That's it. Said,
Have you had any kind of correspondence or conversations with your former landlord?
No, because I don't think I think she knew I wasn't thrilled that she was kicking me out. And I wouldn't mean or anything. I know, I could tell. So the last day, she just reminded me, she's like, hey, I'm going to come to meet you to get that key from you. I'm like, okay, we're not meeting, first of all. The key's here. And that's the last time I've heard from her. So I know she's been there because I have to walk by that place every single day when I walk to Denny's.
Is someone new in it?
No. Good luck trying to sell that. Good luck.
So I thought she had somebody who's going to be moving in.
She told me that she wanted to. She has to remodel it because it needs work. There's a major rat problem in that place. I mean, that is a true statement.
Yeah.
And you have to go back because all these units are the same. If you look at my new unit, when I go into my walk-in closet or the utility closet, there is board and a covering all the way down so nothing can get through. At my old place, you could see up into the roof area, so anything could crawl up down there over the water heater.
She didn't have it sealed off properly.
It wasn't sealed off properly, and the water heater blocked to where you could seal it, so it was impossible to seal. So it would be a major job to get that fixed. So good luck.
Okay.
But yeah, she had to remodel. That's why I had to leave.
Sarah in New Hampshire said, hey, just to let you know, looking at the guidelines for JetBlue flights, that one dude who checked his beer, they wouldn't let him on. It was an Australian airline. Apparently on domestic flights, JetBlue says you may bring wine, champagne, or beer on a flight for consumption during the flight if it is in an unopened container. If you'd like to drink the alcohol you carry on, you may give it to one of our in-flight crew members, and they will be happy to serve it to you.
JetBlue.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Ask the flight attendants to open your little bottle of booze to serve you, and you can't be fined. I've been doing it for years. Thought you would want to know.
I do want to know that because I do like JetBlue. I like the way they run their show.
Yeah, they've got the good entertainment systems.
They
too,
do.
right?
They've got a great entertainment system. If you're on a longer flight, like I did recently, at the middle of the flight, they just say, all right, the snack bar is open. And there's like a snack bar in the middle of the plane.
I mean, that's just...
You get up and serve yourself sodas, water, chips, sweets, treats. My kids couldn't believe it.
I love it.
The JetBlue really won me over with a lot of the way they do stuff. And if you can afford to go fancy, that JetBlue Mint, which is like their first class,
Okay.
it just looks like the most wonderful experience ever.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Some more insider information from Virginia.
You say snack party, I'm sold with JetBlue.
Yeah. And they had good chips, too. Really good stuff.
Not that bullshit Wise, right?
No, ain't no Toms up in there. No, it's good stuff.
Okay.
They had those Terra chips. You know those blue Terra chips? They had like all those fancy chips. Oh, so good.
Greg in the 772 said, hey, after hearing about Denny's crazy fun weekend of putting together a desk, I was curious about the remotes because you talk about being a BurgerFi too. So it seems like you guys work a ton. V's always doing stuff for Little Smiles. Jerby Denny's always seem to be shooting KVJ videos that no one will watch, but they always seem busy. Then Kevin seems to spend a lot of time at the brewery. So how many hours a week do you guys actually work? What about remotes, like Denny's BurgerFi remote? And there are so many written into your contract. If you've gotten due, do you get paid for each individual one? And are the events like cocktails and karaoke part of your contract and base pay, or is it like a bonus each time you do an event? Yeah, the events like that, typically if it's an advertiser, then that is a bonus, kind of like a little thing that we'll do. So that's not necessarily written into the contract, like to specify that, because you never know what's going to come, go, and all that kind of good stuff. But yeah, we get a little bit extra for that. We do other events that we don't get any additional money for, KVJ Volunteer Army events, a lot of the Little Smile stuff that we do, that's just volunteering our time to do good community stuff. So that's kind of the difference between the two. And then, you know, the hours just fluctuate. You've got whatever work you got to do to put a show on, and however long that takes is how long it takes.
And some weeks are like crazy busy, and some weeks aren't. It's just every week is different. And that's what I tell people that like try to get me on a schedule. I'm like, I can't be on a schedule because every week is different.
Yeah.
I could never sign up for something that's going to be, this time every week.
Right.
Because every week's different.
Every week, it's always a changing. And somebody said, does KVJ have any events set up for the month of July? And yes, we do. We've got another live show that's coming to Doss Craft Beer and Pizza. It's going to be
July 12th.
Yes, not this Friday, but next Friday. So we'll be out there doing another live show.
Then the Palm Beach Summer Beer Fest on July 20th.
Yeah.
Then back at Brother Jimmy's on July 26th.
Yes.
Definitely seeing a drinking theme here.
Yes.
You do what you know.
Yes. So there you go. So got a couple cool events that are going to be coming up this month that we're pretty excited to do. So just to let you know, that is going to be in the works. Got an email from Denise. She said, I heard Jaybird say people told him that the movie Ted Bundy wasn't great, but I thought it was awesome. I learned so much. The actors did an amazing job. For someone who is not obsessed like Jason, I learned a lot. He should give it a chance. It's on Netflix.
I did see the, you're talking about the Zac Efron one?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, it was okay.
It's all right.
It was all right. I mean, I know a lot about Ted Bundy. It was tough for me to see Zac Efron as Ted Bundy. You're talking about pure evil, and then you're talking about Zac Efron,
Who's not pure evil
at all. No.
Yeah.
He's
And-
pure cutie pie.
And I actually thought they could have delved into a few more things to explain some stuff more. Honestly, they left a lot out, I thought.
Did they?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
so you
thought
want a little
I
bit
thought
more
it could have been
depth.
better.
Okay.
He's a deep dive kind of guy, though, into mass murderers.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't.
He knows more than the average person.
I think it was your average person will probably enjoy it.
Okay. Well, if you're looking for something to watch on Netflix, this new study claims that millennials spend an average of 9.4 minutes choosing what to watch on Netflix, which is more than people aged 35 to 54 spend. They spend 8.4 minutes. I would say that I am probably right around the 10-minute mark on finding stuff. Now, I've got the My List set up, but I don't know. I keep going back to them like, nothing. I've had stuff that's been sitting in the My List category now for probably a year.
I struggle so hard when it comes to looking for shit. I will search for 15 minutes and I start to get like hot flashes. I'm like, oh, this is becoming mental work right now. I just want to watch something cool. Fuck it, I'll watch The Office.
And that's what you just
A lot of times I
I
punt and I go to The Office. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, a lot of the stuff's really a commitment, and that's really what it is for me. Like, I don't have anything that I'm really watching right now. I don't have a lot of viewing time, but too, it's just, when you get into a show, I think that's kind of what I know now about binge watching. I mean, it really kind of does become a commitment. And then sometimes you have those series where it takes 3, 4, 5 episodes, which might equate to 5 hours of your time before you're like, I'm not feeling it. And you do enough of those, I just spent 5 hours on something I'm not going to get back to.
I've been watching those realistic, like heavy movies. There was this one, it was with the guy who's Batman, Christian Bale, back from like 2006. He was in the movie where he was a Vietnam soldier that got shot down, and then he was in a prison with other soldiers, and they had to break out. And it was kind of like that Taj Mahal movie I watched when the terrorists attacked the Taj Mahal. The whole time, it's so tense, and you're thinking, holy shit, they're gonna get. I mean, it's a very intense and a very good movie. I forget what it's called, but if you Google the Christian Bale Vietnam movie, it'll come right up. It had a good Rotten Tomatoes score on it.
Yeah, the only thing that I'm really jumping on is just if there's enough word of mouth about something, I just want to know what everybody's talking about so we can talk about it. That's about the only thing I'm really jumping on these days.
Are you doing the movies? If movies got a lot of hype, you'll watch the movie?
Yeah, I really, that's kind of what I gravitate towards. Like if something's doing well at the box office or got a lot of hype, I try to just kind of make sure that I'm watching the big stuff that a majority of people are watching.
If you get a chance to watch Rescue Dawn with Christian
to
Bale.
Netflix?
I think it was on Netflix. It was on Netflix or HBO Demand, but it was really good.
Okay, Rescue Dawn?
Yeah.
DAWN? Or a guy named Don?
No.
Hey, I'm Don. Come rescue me.
Rescue Dawn.
I'm a little lazy to rescue myself.
My name's Don, and I'm fucked.
Totally different movie.
Okay, yeah.
Don, put the effort in.
Yeah.
Save yourself.
In many cases. Yeah, that Fire Festival, which I watched on Netflix.
I love that one.
They're selling that island that it was supposed to be on. You can get it for $11.8 million.
The island that supposedly Pablo had.
I don't know if it's that. I think it's the second one because remember that the Pablo Island they shot him down because they figured out because they said don't market as the Pablo Island, and they went right ahead and marketed as the Pablo Island.
So
They
it's
said,
the other one.
They said, screw you, get out of here. And then they had to go to another island. I think it might be the other one. So what do you think costs more? I just saw that the Darth Vader building downtown West Palm Beach just sold. Okay, so what do you think costs more money?
An island or a building?
Yeah, private island. That they then keep in mind, maybe it's got a higher price tag now. That's the famous or infamous Fire Festival Island, private island, in the Bahamas, or the Darth Vader building, the big black skyscraper downtown West Palm Beach.
I'm a good Darth Vader building.
Costs more?
Yes.
Okay, what do you think, Virginia? What's selling for more, higher price tag?
I would think the island would be more, right? I don't know.
You don't know.
Do you have everything on the island belongs to you? Like, even if people live on it, their houses and everything, it's all yours?
Well, I think you own the land that's on it. I don't know, what happens with the houses and all that kind of stuff. I think that, they probably then become your tenants, would be my guess, if there are any houses. And I think there were houses on it.
There were.
Yeah.
It looked like it.
Aunt Ann used to work in the Darth Vader building.
She did?
Back in the day, like a long time ago. Yeah.
Really?
I think like in the 80s.
It's been around a while.
It has been
yeah.
around for a while. 'Cause I always remember, look in the Darth Vader building. I thought that was cool because I love Darth Vader.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, you would pay a lot more for the Darth Vader building.
Really?
Yep. The Fire Festival private island can be yours for $11.8 million. Darth Vader building just sold for $98.
Wow.
Yeah. Kind of a big difference, huh? Damn.
That is a huge difference.
Yeah, that is a huge difference. Virginia was dealing with an issue. Remember, you had told us you had a friend of yours and his life partner that were murdered, and this is kind of like a mysterious story that's going on, and the trial's just beginning.
Remember this from like a bunch of years ago? It happened in 2015. My friend Freddie, who you guys probably have met Freddie, he was a florist.
Yes, I do.
Lovely friend. He used to do nice stuff for Little Smiles all the time. I remember at Christmas, he helped me. He brought flower bouquets to the hospital at St. Mary's. Like, just the sweetest guy, the most nice guy. So he and his husband, Wayne, were in their house in Green Acres back in 2015. And this crazy person broke in their house and stabbed them both to death in their house.
Jeez.
Like, the most horrific thing you can ever imagine happened to them in their own home while they were just being in there and just being peaceful. I went to the funeral. Nobody had any answers. I was talking to all the neighbors. I was like, was this somebody they knew? Like, who would do this to Freddie, first of all? I mean, he was the kindest, sweetest person. And none of the neighbors knew, like, why or what the backstory was. And then the story just kind of went away. I didn't hear anything about it for the longest time. And then I heard a few years ago that they had apprehended somebody for the crime. And then this morning, as I was getting ready for work, it was on the news that the guy's trial starts this morning. The guy that killed my friend and his husband.
Do they know what the motive was?
No, I've never heard the motive. I've looked and researched it. I'm excited to finally have this guy have his day in court. So maybe his public defender can say, like, what happened? Why did he do it? Was it random?
Right.
Was he on drugs? Because he killed them, and then he stole their car, and then he went on a massive crime spree all over Florida, and finally was apprehended, like in northern Florida.
Wow. That sounds like a guy that just snapped, whatever, and just said, you know what, I got nothing to lose.
Well, I wondered, okay, was he on drugs? Was he just like so cracked out that, he doesn't even know what had happened?
That's crazy.
Zachary Penna, Zachary Penna, Penna. That's the guy that did it, Zachary Penna. And today is his day in court.
Okay, yeah. Hopefully, I guess that's what one thing they'll try to establish. Was it just random? Is he just an awful, terrible person and just snapped, or did he have a motive? All right.
He's got a rap sheet, too, of other crap that he did.
If that's the case, it probably was just random, be my guess.
I just don't get it. You want answers when something
Sure.
so terrifying happens to your friend. It's like, wait, what?
That's the worst, especially when they get the murderer there and then the murderer won't talk. That's the worst. Some of them go to the grave without giving any kind of closure. Bastards.
Okay. All right. Well, let us know if you see anything. I assume it's going to take a while several weeks or whatnot to finally sort this out and get through it. But you can let us know, Virginia.
I will.
Do a podcast about it. Thank you very much for listening to ours. Got anything else you want to add? Ever any questions? You can just send us an email, mail@kvjshow.com, mail@kvjshow.com. Final day of the week tomorrow. We'll be here. Hopefully you will too. Goodbye.
Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.